So some of you wanted to see the basement, and so in this video I'm just going to give you a quick tour of our basement. Won't be too long. There's nothing super exciting down here, but I will show you a few things that I've done. So like most other rooms in this building right now, it's a mess. But we use this area over here obviously for kind of a workout gym area. Unfortunately, when it rains a lot, it does take water. Not a ton, but water will be standing on the floors. And so that's one thing I really want to get figured out soon, hopefully, so that this can be a little bit more usable. And ultimately what I would kind of like to do is maybe just turn the whole basement here into a gym, maybe use most of this whole space for that. And then there's a little room back there that I'm kind of using for tools and stuff, and would probably continue to do that. But I put one of these gas heaters down here. These things work really well, and it's a pretty big one. I can't remember how many BTUs it is, but it kind of my thought is I want to maybe put a couple of these down here, and I don't know if this will work or not, but I want to try to heat this up as much as possible so the heat will kind of come up through these floors here. These are old wooden floors that kind of have some gaps and spaces and holes in some spots, and so I think a lot of the heat would carry up and help heat the floors above. So there's that. One of the biggest projects I've done down here is parging the wall. I think parging is the correct word for it. Basically what that means is that I took mortar and I basically applied a coat of mortar along the whole wall here. And I'll show you why I did this. The way these walls look now is not how they looked about a year or a year and a half ago. I'll show you kind of the old, I'm not even sure exactly what it is, what the walls originally were made of, but they were starting to chip and break loose. A bunch of the rocks were loose. And so here's some support I've added. I've added a bunch of spots there, and then there's these 4 over here. So there's a bunch of spots where I've added some support for the, this here is for a beam that's on the second floor. That's part of the roof support. And so this carries all the way down here to the basement. And I've noticed that it looks like this one here is leaning a little bit. So I'm going to have to come down here and fix that. And this is Abbott. Abbott, say hi. Abbott comes down here and lays down a lot when it's hot to cool off. I built these wood rack sort of deals with just 2x4s to pile up all my extra wood and scraps and stuff like that. And it's kind of getting a little bit messy like everything else. So in here, so this here actually will show you, this is kind of what the walls looked like before I parged them, put the coat of mortar over them, and you can see how, it's just like flaking off. So what I did is actually kind of a fun thing to do, and it definitely helped a lot. You can see over here too on the exterior wall. Sort of the same deal. I don't know what this is, if it's like an old I don't know how they did this back in the early 1900s, but it's like rocks and just a bunch of loose stuff obviously that's fallen down. And so you'll get just piles of stuff down on the ground next to the wall where stuff flakes off. And so I was saying that the parging that I did, I just used S mortar, the pre-mixed stuff, and just basically came in here, and it took a while, but I thought it was kind of fun and satisfying, and just put a layer across the whole wall all around there. It was a bit of an ignorant reason why I did it initially. I thought that it would help to, I had water coming through the walls. You can just see water seeping through the walls, and you can still see in spots where it's still coming through. So I had thought that putting a layer of mortar on top would help. And obviously water is just going to keep coming through it. Because it's the mortar concrete, it's all just porous, so it's going to come through anyway. So it did seem to help a little bit, but what it seemed to mostly done is just make it to where all the water just kind of comes out now, mostly out of the bottom of the floor. So yeah, so it didn't solve the water issue at all. I still have to do this whole wall here. I started a little bit. But basically what I did is I just came in and brushed it all really good, cleaned it off, even shot back it off a little bit. And yeah, you want to make sure all the loose stuff that, like you saw back in this room, you just want to make sure all that loose stuff is knocked off. So I took brooms, wire brushes, and got as much of the loose stuff knocked off as I could, and then wet it down a little bit with water, dampen it, and then you just start applying the mix of mortar. So yeah, made it look a lot better, I think. I think the way that looks compared to this is a lot better. And I could even, paint that or something if I wanted to eventually, which I won't do that until I solve the water issue. But yeah, so I'm going to kind of try to turn this area into a little workshop area and have all my tools stored here because we don't have a garage or anything like that. So it's kind of nice to have some of this space. I also need to come down here and dig out some of this dirt and fill this patch in with concrete. For whatever reason, this area here does not have concrete. It's just dirt. This is another little room here. And then this is a trench that they dug. I think this was, probably within the last 20 years or so that they dug this trench so that they could access underneath and run electrical, plumbing, all that. And then they built this little brick wall to help keep it from collapsing in on either side. So yeah, so far I've spent a lot of very fun claustrophobic times crawling down there and running wire and all sorts of stuff like that. And my days crawling through there are not over by any means. But yeah, it's pretty open right here. The problem is once you get back there, it's really tight. So yeah, that's the basement. We got a big pile of bricks that were here when we moved in. So I'll probably use those in different spots. It's overall, we don't have any big issues down here in the basement. No like big foundation cracks or nothing, like none of the walls are like leaning in or anything. All the walls are pretty straight. And yeah, it's nice because this obviously just gives us a lot of access to all the main area right now that we're working on remodeling is right above us. That's where our big new family room with the picture window we put in is over there in that area. The new guest bedroom, bathroom is up here in this area. It's living room, big living room is over here. So we have access underneath all of that, which is really nice for running electrical and plumbing and all that. So yeah, that's the basement. I think hopefully soon I do want to do the kitchen. I know several people have been asking to see the kitchen. And so that will be hopefully one of the next videos. I'll probably not just show you the kitchen, but maybe show you also the designs that I've put together on The Sims. For those of you who don't know, I am using the game Sims 4 to just do a basic design of the building, and it just is a helpful way to give us some ideas of what we want it to look like. And I know how to play the game. I've played the game and designed homes on Sims when I was a kid. I loved doing that. And so rather than trying to figure out how to learn a program, an actual legitimate house design program, I thought it'd be fun to just put it together on Sims. So yeah, I'll probably, I already have a video up if you haven't seen that, where I show the Sims 4 design on the master bedroom. And I will probably do one similar to that for the kitchen. And so yeah, be looking for that. And we will see you all in the next video.